Welcome back to the RBL, and this is a big episode. We will be awarding the best players of Season 3, as well as going through the first 2 rounds of the playoffs. And after each round, I will be reviewing every bracket that everybody submitted and how they're performing after each round. And don't forget, the winner of the Season 3 bracket challenge will be able to join the members only Discord for free, so you can submit your own custom player into every RBL draft class. So let's get things started with Season 3 awards. For the first time, the RBL Discord members voted for the award winners this season, so let's take a look at the MVP candidates. We have Zach Edey of the OKC Wolverines, who was last season's MVP, looking to go back-to-back. There's also Ben Simmons of the Fort Worth Panthers, Mo Bamba for the Jacksonville Bulldogs, Elijah Patterson of the Nashville Stars, and then AJ Wolf, who's also on the Oklahoma City Wolverines. And with 63% of the vote, the winner of the 2026 RBL Season 3 will be Zach Edey, who's going to become the first ever back-to-back MVP winner of the RBL. This is probably the most dominant season the RBL has ever seen. He was number 1 in points, number 2 in rebounds, number 1 in blocks, and he was also number 1 in estimated wins added, and managed to secure a number 3 seed, which is the cherry on top. And also to qualify for the MVP, you have to be a top 5 seed. So that's why James Harden was not an MVP candidate. Moving on to Rookie of the Year, and speaking of James Harden, he's a candidate, and along with him is Russell Westbrook, Mike James, Forrest Moser, and Hunter Dickinson. And by securing 69% of the fan vote, the Rookie of the Year is James Harden of the St. Louis Sound. Among rookies, he was number 1 in points, assists, and estimated wins added. He also managed to get the Sound to a respectable number 6 seed. This year's 6th Man of the Year race was the closest among any award. The potential winners are Sharif O'Neal of the Fort Worth Panthers, Caleb Strickland of the New Jersey Knights, Noah Sheffield of the Tampa Bay Sharks, Terrence Ross for the Omaha Barrage, and then Chauncey Carlos of the Athens Ravens. And with only 33% of total votes and narrowly winning the award, the 6th Man of the Year will go to Terrence Ross, who averaged the most points off the bench in the RBL this season. So congrats to Terrence Ross of the Omaha Barrage, who also secured the number 12 seed and are going to take on the Stars in the first round. And on the other hand, the Defensive Player of the Year race was the second biggest landslide victory. The candidates are Taco Fall for the New Jersey Knights, Chris Dunn of the Baltimore Glory, Usman Garuba, who is the defending DPOY, plays for the Cincinnati Lions, Dwight Howard of the Pittsburgh Force, who was the first ever Defensive Player of the Year for the RBL. And then lastly, we have Jonathan Isaac of the Louisville Liberty. The Defensive Player of the Year for the 2026 RBL season, with a vote of 68%, will go to Taco Fall. Taco is a fan favorite, but him being the second best shot blocker and a top 15 player in steals also helped his case to win. Next up will be the Most Improved Player. The candidates are Andre Jasquez of the Athens Ravens, Zach Wajay of the Montreal Firebirds, Chauncey Carlos of the Athens Ravens as well, Sharif Cooper of the Columbus Coyotes, and then lastly Keith Hansen for the Pittsburgh Force. And with 39% of the vote, the Most Improved Player of the Year goes to Andre Jasquez, who has become a breakout star for the RBL and is a very deserving winner for Most Improved Player for Season 3. The RBL Original Award, the Sharpshooter of the Year, has crowned 2 incredible shooters, Jimmer Fredette and Devontae Graham. And let's see who the 3rd ever Sharpshooter of the Year award will go to. The potential recipients are Imani Bates, Andre Jasquez, Jimmer Fredette, James Harden, and then Kemba Walker. This was a close one, and with 35% of the vote, the Sharpshooter of the Year will go to Imani Bates of the Louisville Liberty, who had an incredible shooting year for the Liberty, and he looks to take them far into the playoffs. Let's look at the most clutch player of the season. The potential winners are Andre Jasquez, James Harden, Zach Edey, Mike James, and then rookie Robert Horn. With 48% of the vote, the most clutch player of RBL Season 3 will go to the reigning 2-time MVP, Zach Edey, who was very crucial for many of the wins, especially the close games for the Wolverines this season. Alright, lastly, the newest award of this season is Offensive Player of the Year. The candidates for Offensive Player of the Year will go to, once again, Andre Jasquez, James Harden, Zach Edey, Russell Westbrook, and Ben Simmons. With a solid 52% of the vote, The first ever Offensive Player of the Year will go to James Harden of the St. Louis Sound, who was top 3 in points and a member of the 50-40-90 club. Alright, with that we have finally reached the playoffs, and let's get right into it. So we are now finally in the playoffs, and before we get into the games, I figured I'd show you all the People's Bracket. If you're not familiar with what the People's Bracket is, it's basically the most popular pick bracket, the most pick matchups for each round. So let's check out the People's Bracket. For the first round, the people had Baltimore, Virginia, Nashville, Jacksonville, Fort Worth, Pittsburgh, St. Louis, and OKC moving on to the second round. And then in the third round, the people have Baltimore taking on Nashville, Fort Worth versus OKC, and then ultimately it all leads to the showdown between number 1 seed Baltimore Glory and the number 3 seed Oklahoma City. And the most common picked team out of this matchup was Oklahoma City, winning it all. So let's see if this happens and see who has the best bracket, and will we have a perfect bracket? Let's head into the games and find out. Alright, first game of the biggest playoffs of RBL history, 16 teams, and we're going to kick it off with number 6 St. Louis Sound and number 11 Chicago Legacy. So here is JJ Lane, and gets a shot to go. Hopefully he can will the Sound back, but they're down pretty big, and it's look like they're probably not going to win this game. And there's a Josh Stick for the Chicago Legacy, who was a very surprising great bench player for them this season. Here's JJ Lane with the fadeaway, a mirror jump shot over George Ham. Good shot there from JJ Lane, rookie this season. And Mike James misses, but luckily George Ham gets a rebound for the Legacy, and that adds to the Legacy's lead. Here's JJ Lane once again on George Ham, and gets another fadeaway to go. So see if George Ham can respond on this next play. And George Ham cuts in and dunks it. We got a bit of a rivalry going on. George Ham versus JJ Lane. And that does it. The Chicago Legacy take down the St. Louis Sound in Game 1. And this will be a pretty huge upset. The St. Louis Sound, they're not projected to go far, but they're at least projected to go into the next round, eventually losing to the Wolverines. But the Legacy are dangerous. If you went into the Season 3 bracket challenge guide, you'll see that I labeled them, the Legacy, as like the wild card of the playoffs, and they proved it there. But next game, it will be Game 1 between the Liberty and the Storm, number 8 versus number 9 matchup here. And looks like the Storm are up, and that adds to it with Joey Taylor dunk right there. Here's Jeremy Lin with the ball. Once again passes it to Taylor, and Joey Taylor gets it to go, who was a rookie off the bench for the Virginia Storm. Here's the Liberty in transition, and a monster dunk by Miles Bridges. Great stuff there. Here's Ethan Daniel for the Virginia Storm. Pick and roll Bruno Fernando, pulls up from 3, and that is the dagger. That is the dagger for a Virginia Storm. They are going to win Game 1 of this series, and technically it is an upset because the 9 seed just beat the 8 seed in Game 1. However, most people had the Virginia Storm beating the Liberty. There's not a love for the Louisville Liberty in all the submitted brackets, but you never know. It's a 3-game series, anything can happen. And then, so yeah, if you don't know, the first 3 rounds are a 3-game series, and then the finals is 1 game, win or go home. But the next thing we're going to check out is Game 1 between the Tampa Bay Sharks and the OKC Wolverines. And here's Jackson Coffey, step it back, mid-range jump shot, beautiful stuff there. Jackson Coffey was one of the best rookies this season, but it was a great rookie class, so he wasn't in the top 5, but he was definitely very close to making it into the top 5 candidates. But the Wolverines take down the Tampa Bay Sharks pretty easily in this game, and they are the favorite to win the championship. Them and the Baltimore Glory are a very close race for a championship contender, and they do what they're supposed to do. But the Sharks, they're pretty dangerous as well. Dennis Smith Jr. can go off. Oscar DeShibwe can grab a lot of rebounds, so maybe they do upset eventually. But we are now seeing the first ever 1v16 matchup in RBL history. It's between the Baltimore Glory and the New Jersey Knights. and the Baltimore Glory ended up winning in a blowout against the New Jersey Knights. Not even close. Glory are very surprising this season. Definitely no one expected them to be the 1 seed, but they are probably going to move on, barring any drastic, things happening. But we were checking out Game 2 between the Cincinnati Lions and Pittsburgh Force. The Lions won Game 1, and there's a good shot from Chase Allcroft, and it is a close game, guys. And a great dunk from Dwight Howard there, giving the Force some momentum. Here's Chase Allcroft in the paint, and gets it to go, even with the contest from Zaire Smith there. And the Lions are in transition. Great pass to Markieff Morris, who gets it to go over Keith Hansen in the paint. And Kevin Porter is bringing up the ball. Pick and roll. Doesn't do anything with it, but he decides to give it to Zaire Smith. Passes it to Keith Hansen. Gives it back to Kevin Porter Jr. Back to Hansen. Dribbles in the paint and misses. Chase Allcroft gets the rebound. See what the Lions can do. They give it to Markieff Morris and can't get the 3-point play, but he can potentially get 2 free throws here. Gets the first one to go, and this free throw will tie the game for them. And they get it to go. This is a tied game. Let's see what the Force can do in transition. Kevin Porter Jr., a quick pick and roll, doesn't do it. Here's a Zaire Smith driving the paint, gives it to Keith Hansen, and gets it to go. Force up by 2, 80-78. Here's the Lions. They are scrambling. No real setup here, just a lot of ball movement. Here's Ricky Rubio, and can't get it to go. Ricky Rubio misses a shot, and that was a chance to send it to overtime and give the Lions a chance to sweep the Force. But the Force survive and is now a 1-1 series. I definitely think Game 3 could be one of the best games of the entire playoffs. I mean, the Lions are the defending champions. The Force, they're always a force, not to be cheesy. Actually, I had all intentions to be cheesy there, but the Force have always been a very solid team. Lions are defending champions, good team. So Game 3 could be some cinema. But we are now in Game 2 between the Omaha Barrage and the Nashville Stars. The Barrage are fighting for to keep their season alive. They're down 1 to the Stars. It's 1-0 Stars. 1 win for the Stars, and they move on to the second round. But the Barrage need 2 more wins to advance to the second round and get the 12v5 upset. And there's a big slam from Elijah Patterson. Very emphatic stuff there. Here's a Barrage. Westbrook pulls up from 3 and gets it, and he gets fouled. So Westbrook has a chance for a 4-point play. Very clutch shot there from Russell Westbrook. See if he can make the 4-point free throw. Can't get it to go, but still good 3 points there for the Barrage. It is 71-71, close game. And there is Michael Carter-Williams with the 3-point jump shot. Clutch shot there from MCW. Here is Mike Madison in the paint. Very good rookie who eventually became the starter for the Stars. But the Stars are up by a 5. See what the Barrage can do late in the game to muster up a comeback. And there's a good start there of Kevin Love in the pick and roll. And the Barrage are inbounding. Down by 3. David Mitchell pick and roll of Kevin Love. Mitchell gives it to Westbrook. Can't get the 3 to go, but I believe it's Luka Garza gets the offensive rebound. Clutch stuff there. That's a bad time to miss a free throw for MCW. Can he get the second one? And he gets it. It is 77-75 Nashville. This is a must-win game for the Barrage and Jashawn Tate. Clutch shot ties the game. And this game is certainly going to go into overtime. So I don't imagine they'll get a shot up. Yeah, there's no way they get a shot up in time. Jashawn Tate sends it to overtime for the Omaha Barrage. Keeps the season alive. And also with the overtime games, it's the first team to score a point. So yeah, this is going to be tense. Let's see who wins Game 2. Omaha, Nashville. Nashville win. They move on. Barrage, yeah, they need to win this game to keep their season alive. Here is Westbrook. See what he can do with the ball. Decides to give it to Davion Mitchell, who gives it to Jashawn Tate. Gives it back to Westbrook. Does not pull up the 3 there. Pick and roll. Pulls up from 3 this time. Can't get it to go. Elijah Patterson with the rebound. See if the Stars can win the series. This is very tense. Here's Patterson. Kind of a bad shot. Can't get it to go. Definitely a rush fadeaway there. He's good mid-range jump shots, but that was rush. See if the Barrage can now win the series. Gives it to Westbrook. And it does a pick and roll of Kevin Love. Gives it back to Kevin Love. He pulls up from 3. Gets it to go. Kevin Love wins the game in overtime. Keeps the season alive for Omaha. There is Kevin Love with the game-winning shot against Nashville Stars. So we could see a 12v5 upset pretty soon, which would be insane. Very few people had Omaha move on, so this would be a huge bracket buster. Nashville moved on pretty far in the people's bracket, so this would be an insane upset. So now we look at the Panthers as they beat down on the Kansas City Sparrows, and they move on to the second round, the number 2 seed. Fort Worth Panthers move on. So good stuff from them. Kansas City, this was not their season at all. Everything fell apart. They have one of the deepest talent pools in the league, but they just couldn't put anything together, which is a shame. But now we're going to head into a 4v13 game between the Jacksonville Bulldogs and the Athens Ravens. The Bulldogs are up in the series 1-0, so this is a must-win game for the Athens Ravens. They go to Andrew Jasquez, who is building an insane resume so far. He's been a candidate in so many different awards, but this is his I believe this is his first ever playoff appearance. The Ravens they almost made the finals in the first season, but that was without Jasquez. So we'll see what Andrew can do in his first ever playoff game or playoff series. And he makes a clutch shot there, showing what he can do in the playoffs. He's electric with the basketball. And there's a free throw there from John Wall. See if he can make the second. And doesn't. That's big. So the Ravens can win the game with a 3-pointer or tie it up if they want to. Here's DeLon Wright. Pulls up from 3 and gets it. DeLon Wright with the clutch 3-point jump shot. Let's see how the Bulldogs can respond. Can't get it up in time. No way. The Ravens, they take game 2. Their season is alive. Once again, another 1-1 series. This would be a huge upset, a 13-4. Man, Ravens could do it. They have one of the best players in the league, Andrew Jasquez, the firepower to take down the Bulldogs. But the Bulldogs they made the finals last year, and they're the 4 seed this year. So I mean that would be a huge upset that did happen. All right, this is another big game, 1-1. St. Louis versus Chicago. However, Chicago cannot put up a fight in game 3. They lost game 2 and 3, which is very unfortunate. Chicago, they have a lot of fans. This was their redemption season. They didn't make the playoffs first 2 seasons, but made it here. And they lose to the St. Louis Sound. But they forced a game 3 against one of the best teams in the league. And here is the look at the playoff picture so far. And now we're going to head into game 3 between the Cincinnati Lions and the Pittsburgh Force. This is going to be an intense one. And it starts out with a good little alley-oop from DJ Wilson, assisted by Eli Schuster, rookie. Here is Chase Allcroft, who has been going off. I mean, last game he was very clutch for the Cincinnati Lions. See if he can do it again in game 3. Here's Dwight Howard on Usman Garuba. Gets the shot to go. That's impressive. Usman Garuba was the defensive player of the year last year, and was a candidate this season. And the Lions get a big steal here. See what they can do with it. Gonna wait it out. Get all the players up court. Gives it to Chase Allcroft. Pulls up from 3 and gets it to go. Chase Allcroft is a monster. He keeps being clutch for the Lions. There's a free throw there from Zaire Smith. And gets both to go. All right, see if the Lions can come back. Here's Chase Allcroft and gets it to go from the post, and it is now 73-71 Pittsburgh. There's Kevin Porter Jr. making it 74-71. And that's a big free throw there. The Lions down 4. I assume they're going to give it to Chase. I mean, they got to. And gives it to Chase. But, man, I don't even know what play is going on here. But it somehow ends up in Chase's hands. And gets the 3-point jump shot. It is now a 1-point game. Let's see if the Lions get a steal or foul. They decide to foul there. And these are some big free throws for Kevin Porter Jr. Gets the first one to go. And the second one. So now the Lions can tie the game. I mean, they got to give it to Chase. I mean, he's been on fire. He's been a monster. They give it to Chase, working in the post. And it looks like he can't get anything of it. He's going to pass it to Doug McDermott. Can't get the shot to go, but Usman Gruber gets the offensive rebound, gives it to Ricky Rubio, pulls up from 3, and gets it to go. Ricky Rubio, Ricky the General Rubio. This game is insane. So many ties and lead changes. And oh no, they fouled Dwight Howard shooting a 3. Misses the first one, but this is a like once in a million mistake to foul Dwight Howard, but he misses the first 2 free throws. He's got to make this third one or else it goes into overtime, and who knows. You do not want to be in overtime in this league because it is intense. First team to score wins. So yeah, Dwight Howard's going to take his sweet old time on this one. Let's see if Dwight Howard, get the shooting form going. Come on, Dwight. Wowzers. Makes it. Dwight Howard wins the series. There's no way they don't have a timeout. There's no way they can get a shot. Yeah. Oh my goodness. That was a game. The Pittsburgh Force survived the defending champions, the Lions. Chase Allcroft's stock just rose up. Wow. That was a series. So I don't know how we're going to top that. That is definitely going to be game of the playoffs. Lions, Pittsburgh Force, they put on a show. But here is the last game before we review the brackets. This is the last game to get into the second round. And it's going to be the Bulldogs advancing into the second round. They beat the Athens Ravens. Ravens put up a heck of a fight. So definitely no shame losing to the Jacksonville Bulldogs. One of the deepest teams in the league. And the Ravens forced a game 3, so as a 13 seed. So definitely be proud of your Athens Ravens. But we are now going to head into the bracket review. So it's meant to be an actual leaderboard, but I'm going to do that after the second round because there's a lot of ties here and it's just a lot of work. So once we get through more rounds and the points more evenly distributed, I'll put them in order after the second round. But after the first round, we have Clix's bracket, who scored 14 points. And if you don't remember, the scoring system is every first round pick you get 2 points, and then the next round is 3, and then the next round is 5, and then the championship winner is another 5 points. And then Eaton41 secured 12 points for his bracket. Then we have Sports Fan with once again 12. Then we have Kachow with 14 points on his bracket. Crazy Man 14 points. GHO5TUN 10 points. Sheffield 165 12 points. Landon had 8 points. Mickey Blumenthal had 10 points for his bracket. KUJUZZ had 12 points. ED11 12 points. 3THN95 10 points. Mal had 14 points for his bracket. Pretty good stuff there. Store Clerk had 10 points. Will managed to secure 8 points. Peephole had 10. Fireman 195 had 10 points. DDM had 8. Giorgio's Dim had 12 points for their bracket. Sportected had 12 points. Jeriel Super 23 had 6 points. Omix coming in with 10 points. And then lastly, JUUS Jr. had 12 points. So yeah, definitely make sure to go back and pause, see how your bracket's doing so far. But as you can see, the Baltimore Glory ended up easily beating the New Jersey Knights. The New Jersey Knights were one of the 4 expansion teams this season. I think it's a great, deal for them to make the playoffs. And, they lost to the 1 seed, so no shame there. And the Storm ended up beating the Liberty. swept them. So impressive stuff there. And we had a 12v5 upset. The Omaha Barrage stunned the Nashville Stars. Stars were the first ever RBL champions, so that is a huge win for Omaha. And yeah, this is the round 2 season 3 playoffs. Let's now get into round 2. And the first game we'll be checking out in round 2 is a 1v9 matchup, the Baltimore Glory versus the Virginia Storm. And the Storm are up on the Baltimore Glory. Some surprising stuff here. Although I did say it was surprising that the Glory were the 1 seed, so I definitely could easily see them fall. But a lot of people didn't see it that way. A lot of people picked them to win it all. So this is pretty impressive, and that's just insult to injury there. Ethan Daniel for the Virginia Storm lands a 3-point bomb there. And that does it. The Virginia Storm win game 1 against Baltimore Glory. One more win, and they are a couple wins away from making the finals, which would be awesome for the Virginia Storm because they've always been beloved, but didn't make the playoffs the first 2 seasons. So what a story that would be. They beat the Glory in game 1, so awesome stuff there. And next, we're going to check out the Fort Worth Panthers versus Pittsburgh Force. Game 1. This series has a chance to be explosive. Hopefully, it's somewhere near the Lions versus Force series. That was insane. There is a 3-point opportunity for Ben Simmons there. Can he make a free throw? That's a very good question. This will be pretty big if he does. Actually makes a free throw. Wow, good for Ben Simmons there. That puts the Panthers up by 4. Let's see what the Force can do here. Here's Justin Carr with the ball, drives into the paint, and gets the tough layup to go. There's a good shot there from rookie Justin Carr. Here's Dwight Howard in the post. We see what he can do. Hands it off to AJ Griffin. Pulls up. Wow! What's with these 4-point plays? There's AJ Griffin with the 4-point play chance. That is huge for Pittsburgh. Gets a free throw. So now things are interesting. Let's see what the Fort Worth Panthers can do. Here's Kemba Walker. And back to Kemba Walker. Pulls up from 3. And gets it to go! There is a clutch game-winning shot from Kemba Walker. The Force are not going to have time to get a shot off. That is vintage Kemba Walker there. And no, the Force, they can't get the shot up. And the Fort Worth Panthers win game 1. They're 1 win away from making the Final Four. So, yeah, great end to a game there. The Force just know how to put on some exciting games, win or lose. So, yeah, the People's Bracket desperately need the Fort Worth Panthers to move on. The Force would definitely be another bracket buster. But let's head into Bulldogs versus Omaha Barrage. The Bulldogs are up 1 game already, and it's a pretty close game here. See if the Barrage can once again make another comeback. And there's Bronny James, the layup there. Here's the Omaha Barrage in transition, down by 4. They decide to give it to Luka Garza and gets it to go. So it is now a 2-point game. Now it's a 4-point game. Because they fouled in the Bulldogs. They got some free throws to go. And the Bulldogs get the ball, and that's going to do it. The Bulldogs are going to move on to the Final Four for the 2nd straight season. Bulldogs actually made the finals last year as a 7 seed. They're now a 4 seed. They are a couple more games from winning making the finals. So the Bulldogs are the first Final Four team of the playoffs. All right, next game is a big one. Wolverines, St. Louis Sound. Game 2, the Oklahoma City Wolverines are already up 1 game. And there's a 3-point jump shot there. And it's still a pretty close game. We'll see who can take it away. There's AJ Wolf with the floater. MVP candidate this season alongside Zach Edey. They both had incredible seasons. And speaking of incredible seasons, it's going to continue for the OKC Wolverines. They take down the St. Louis Sound, who are a very tough team. I mean, James Harden himself is very dangerous, but the Sound are a great team. So Wolverines move on to the Final Four, joining the Jacksonville Bulldogs. And yeah, that is a big win for them. But speaking of big wins, we could see another one. We could see a 1v9 upset here with the Virginia Storm and Glory. And we are going to see it. The Virginia Storm easily beat the number 1 seed Baltimore Glory. We have the 1 seed go down. That is insane. I mean, I was always a little sketchy about the Glory being the 1 seed. And yeah, the Virginia Storm take advantage and sweep the Baltimore Glory. The Virginia Storm are undefeated in the playoffs right now. They are 4-0, back-to-back sweeps. So yeah, I wouldn't want to take on the Virginia Storm next, and it's going to be the Bulldogs. And then we have our next game, which was Game 2 between the Panthers and the Force. The Force won Game 2. Now we have a big Game 3 between these teams. The winner's going to advance to the Final Four, the final slot. And it's going to be the Pittsburgh Force. These games didn't have many highlights to show because, well, both of them were blowouts. And ultimately the Force take down the number 2 seed. So that is insane. We have the number 1 seed and number 2 seed go down. And we have our Final Four. It is going to be the Pittsburgh Force taking on the Oklahoma City Wolverines. And then on the other side of the bracket, we're going to have the Virginia Storm take on the Jacksonville Bulldogs. And that is our Final Four. One of these teams will become the next RBL champion, the third ever RBL champion. And this will be the first championship for all of these teams. So best of luck to them. May the best team win. And that does it with this episode of the RBL. Probably the biggest episode we've ever done yet. A lot of stuff packed in here, and these games have been insane. This has been by far the best playoffs. It was definitely best playoffs of the RBL, but I'd argue it's been better than any playoffs recently in the NBA. I mean, the last one was pretty good, but this tops it for me. So many game winners, so many choke moments, and I hope you all really enjoyed it. So make sure to like, subscribe for more RBL content, and the next video will be the Final Four, the finals, and ultimately crowning the third ever RBL champion. Thank you guys. Peace out.